This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco Nation will not score. Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown. Head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana. Jackson's. Let's go.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
How we doing at Bronco Nation? Happy Thursday, happy game day eve. The Mountain West Championship game tomorrow night. My name is BJ Rains. This is John Mallory, KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. Johnny, you are there in downtown Boise. I am in the bowels of Extra Mile Arena. Our man Jordan opened the door up a little early for me, so I'm here at Extra Mile Arena. We're getting ready for basketball interviews coming up at about 9:30. There is a big basketball game at Butler coming up on Saturday, Johnny. We will get to that a little later in the show, but big game tomorrow, big signing day. Yesterday, 29 new commits in the fold, so a lot going on KTIK and Bronco Nation News. How are we?
Busy days, man. We are at Broadway on the Rocks today doing Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the ballgame, so excited about that one, BJ, and that's just weird how they got here, but they're here again, and it's just kind of an annual thing for this fan base that you get the Mountain West Championship football game on the first Friday of every December, right? Kind of kicks off the holiday season a little bit. The weather's going to be, windy, rainy, just wet, I've heard, but hard to believe this is going to be tomorrow. This game really crept up on me, man.
Yeah, I actually love Friday night games for a multitude of reasons. You don't have to wait as long, and then you get your full weekend still without the game. We'll be able on Saturday at noon on Saturday, Johnny. Folks will hopefully be celebrating late into the night for the championship game, and then you wake up at noon to watch, by noon to watch Boise State Butler on national TV on Saturday. So it's going to be a fun weekend for Boise State fans. Bill is watching from Minnesota. Appreciate you, Bill. Tyler listening on his commute. Appreciate you as well, Tyler. And I do apologize if the audio is not quite as perfect as it usually is, Johnny. As I said, I'm here at Extra Mile Arena and don't have the typical podcast set up. So we're doing the best we can on the computer microphone today. Jordan Morales saying happy game day eve, baby. People are fired up here, Johnny. And like you said, man, a couple weeks ago, I mean, we were planning, what are we going to fill this week with? It's going to be a lot of basketball talk this week, a lot of transfer portal talk, a lot of, even more signing day than we already had. And to think about, I mean, when I was sitting in that press box, man, at San Diego State and watching them struggle to get first downs and move the ball, and it's pouring down rain, and it was just a borderline embarrassing moment for this program and a low point, Johnny, in I don't know how far. I'd have to think about it, but it was a low point probably in the last couple of years at least. I know there were some, plenty of them in the Avalos era. But to think about where they were on that night, San Diego State, 17-7, scoring 7 points, 2 games in a row. It's pouring down rain. You're just trying to finish the season. Are they going to go 6-6? Are they going to finish with a winning record and keep that streak alive? There was so much thoughts. And you think about your post-game show after that San Diego State game to now, here we are getting ready for a Mountain West championship game on the blue tomorrow night, a chance to win 3 in a row, a chance to get a 9th win with a chance still at 10 wins in a bowl game. So the outlook of this season is just so drastically different than it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, after San Diego State, we were thinking, and kind of rightfully so. Looks like Cutforth isn't going to even be QB2 material, right? Everything seemed to go wrong that game, and it was the weather, but I also think it was the coaching. I don't know where I put San Diego State game on more, players or coaches. I think they collectively just had a bad night, but for whatever the reason, however the reason, they figured it out. They beat teams that were, luckily in their way at the right time, and they were able to handle their business. And then, of course, last week go on the road and win a close game against one of the decent teams of this league, and somehow not only get in this thing, but get to host it and then get your self-esteem back. That was the worst part about this team. You said they were embarrassed. That has been for me the most difficult challenge this team has had this year is kind of its self-esteem. It feels like it's insecure. It's fragile. They don't come back from when they fall behind, right? They don't play in close games. Either they kick your ass or they get their butt kicked. It's either way. Psychologically, they don't like the for whatever reason, the back and forth. That's not how this team has been outside of last week a little bit in Logan. So you put all that together, man, and yeah, here they are. Not only that, but against a team in UNLV. I mean, they have a high self-esteem too, but they haven't, as far as like the competition in the league, haven't really beaten anybody in the Mountain West. Like, I understand New Mexico and certainly San Diego State saying, look, we beat these teams or whatever. And New Mexico saying, hey, we beat UNLV, but UNLV didn't have a win against any of the teams in the tiebreaker. And here they are, but they're 10-2. And for the 5th time in 2 years, these two teams are going to play. So here we are. It's like we all predicted 1 versus 2. Boise's going to host UNLV. First Friday in December, BJ, it all just turned out exactly how we thought.
Well, the beauty of what we do here at Bronco Nation News, Johnny, is we can go coast to coast with our viewership, and we've got the stable BSU watching from Florida right now, going to Disney World tomorrow, so I guess he's going to go to Disney World and then watch the game after that. But how about Paul the Wall joining us in South Africa right now? Says he'll be drinking till 2 a.m. Let's go Broncos. So Paul the Wall in South Africa, we appreciate you for jumping in. Let's go to Waynesboro, Pennsylvania as well this morning. Ren True Garner says, can't wait for the Broncos to send UNLV home with a loss for the last game we play in the Mountain West. So folks watching from all over truly the world, and we appreciate all of you here on Bronco Nation News. Deborah says, so excited. Can't wait. This is a dream come true. They're asking about Post Malone. Is he coming again this year? Any intel there, Johnny?
No, I mean, it was different last year. You had the CFP there, and then, of course, you had Ashton Genty, who was the player in America that the whole college football loving country was talking about. So you had that, too. People wanted to see Genty play. That's why this game sold out, I think, in hours last year. You had the victory getting you to the CFP tournament, and then it was they honestly sold it. This is the last chance you'll ever get to see Ashton Genty play on the blue. Period. End of story. And people were like, okay, yeah, we're going to this game, and it ended up being arguably the finest, sports night in the history of this city. Forget this school. Just the town of Boise, Idaho, celebratory regarding sports. I don't think you ever topped last year. So, no, it's not going to be Posty. It's not going to be last year. And that's what's going to make last year so special. It's not going to happen every year. And we'll think back about that every year, about how special that night was for everybody. And again, let's just keep it there. This will still be cool if they win, though, and kind of get to the LA Bowl. I know everybody's excited about that. Players, coaches, media members. We want to play in that bowl game, BJ. Could you imagine if it was last year and they were playing in the LA Bowl the same day as the Heisman ceremony? Genty would have been playing, not being able to go to the ceremony. They moved the LA Bowl up so much that now they have bowl games during the Heisman ceremony. It's the college football world just daring them not to have a Heisman finalist in any of those podunk bowl games or whatever they refer to them as. That could be an interesting situation if the time ever comes, but that's how quick these coaches and everybody's saying you got to push these bowl games up because we got a lot of stuff to do because it's so hard. If you're in a bowl game or a CFP, you now fall behind in the offseason, way behind. You got to play catch up, and that's part of the reason the calendar's so jacked up in college football right now, BJ.
Yeah, and they're both on an ESPN network. I believe ABC has the LA Bowl, and I think ESPN has the Heisman ceremony. So they're kind of competing against their own channels there as well. Very interesting. But I don't think you'll find a single gone, Johnny. Gone are the days of the 15 bowl practices and getting ready for next year and giving the young guys extra reps. That is gone. You want to get the season over with if you're not in the playoff as soon as you can and move on to next season. And the LA Bowl gives you just an unbelievable opportunity to literally play the next Saturday. You literally just have another game week, which is unheard of for a bowl game. It's just next Saturday. You just have one more game week. Stick with us, guys, for one more week, and then you're done. And because we know the portal doesn't open until January this year, but you can still announce you're going in the portal. You can still, leave the team or whatever. And so I think you're going to have way less guys opt out for a game like that maybe would have otherwise. And I'm not expecting a large mass exodus of players by any means, but if you have one or two guys, the portal's not open anyway. Why would they not stay one more week and try to go to a bowl game and get the bowl gifts and all that stuff? So I would suspect from a timing standpoint, a lot of coaches out there would be jealous of a Boise State and whoever they play in that bowl game, if they win, to be done the very next Saturday. Somebody was asking about the bowl game opponent. I've actually seen a new team crop up lately, Johnny, which I think would be kind of cool and exciting and not the same old Washington State, whatever. But what do you make of how about Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State? Would you think that was a fun game?
That'd be a great game. Can you imagine those pregame bowl press conferences with Danielson and Dillingham? Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, man. And Arizona State's what, 7-5, 8-4? I mean, they're still good this year, but they took a step back, and that's explainable, losing what they lost last year. But that'd be a fun one. I've heard, who else did I hear? Washington State. It was a Big 12 team, I heard. Arizona, possibly. Could
Arizona
they go
State, I've heard. It's going to be one of the legacy Pac-12 teams still for one more year. It could be Washington as well.
I heard
Jed
that.
Fish in Washington. There's some rumors out there, Johnny, that Cal was one of the teams that might be an option. They are going to the Hawaii Bowl, it sounds like. So Nick Rolovich going back to Hawaii as the coach of Cal potentially for that game. And then the Las Vegas Bowl I saw has rumored for teams also. I think that's looking at Utah and Nebraska maybe for the Las Vegas Bowl. So the way it's shaping out now is it might be there's a couple different options. But I think Arizona State is the sexiest, coolest of all the teams. I mean, you'd have two teams, Johnny, that were in the playoff last year.
Yeah, and two coaches under 40 that do what they do and do it really, really well, and I think are good for the sport of college football. And I will say this about players leaving. There will be a couple players leave, even though the bowl game is next week. But that's been normalized now, where it's not even almost frowned upon anymore when a kid says, I got to go for whatever the reason. It's just like, cool, go, love ya, Bronco forever, bleed blue, see ya. Every school has that now. So I don't even think that's necessarily a thing, but I'll agree with you. I don't expect a max exodus. There'll be several. There is with every school in the country, but good for those kids, and that'll open up spots for Boise State to then go into the portal and find some replacements. You heard Spencer yesterday. This is not going to be a transfer portal heavy program. This is not going to be a transfer portal heavy roster. I think Spencer Danielson not only made that clear with this class, but also just doubled up on it and said it yesterday in his presser, BJ. He wants the high school kid. That's how they're going to do this thing.
Yeah, no doubt. And by the way, Chris Van Sickle, hat tip, great job on the signing day coverage. He did good coming on your guys' show, I thought, yesterday. And nobody, I can say pretty easily, it's not even that big of a stretch to say, Chris, nobody in the Treasure Valley is covering recruiting right now like Chris Van Sickle and BNN. So go check out Bronco Nation News. Chris getting mostly a deserved day off today after working extremely hard yesterday. Had his live blog going at 5 a.m. So check Bronco Nation News for all your recruiting coverage. And it was a nice class, Johnny, for Boise State, but it is interesting, the lack of, I don't know if lack of interest is the right word. I know you guys talked about it on your show, but not as much media coverage as signing day used to get, not as much interest maybe from fans, because with portal and NIL, you just don't expect a lot of, you can't buy into a lot of these guys being here for 4 or 5 years. What do you make of the difference in signing day, maybe from now to even 5-6 years ago?
What are the other differences? You hit on some good ones. I mean, just the money factor. I think it's less of a celebration when the guy is coming to your school for $300,000 than it is he's coming to find a way to somehow make $300,000 after college or whatever. So I think that's changed it a little bit. It's not as much of a party. College football has taken over the sports world. 20 years ago, it hadn't yet. It was not a niche thing, but it wasn't bigger than Major League Baseball or the NBA. Now, it's not even close. College football wipes those sports out. So I think the sport just growing the way it has lessened events like signing day because the Chris Van Sickles, they're giving you 24/7 coverage. Signing day, it's almost like in some cases, that's when you found out who you got. That's when you saw the list. Who do we have here? Oh, he's dead. Cross him off then. That's when you found him. Now, these kids when they commit. And I just think on signing day now, it's less of a party. It's more of a relief. We got him. They didn't flip on us. So maybe that is part of the relevance of signing day too. And the early signing window, maybe it's the time of year, the calendar in with all the other stuff that's going on this time of year. But yeah, Prater talks about it every year. The old Idaho Sports Talk signing day parties. Maybe some of you in the chat remember going to those. I mean, there was 500-600 people at Big Al's. I did a recruiting show once from Twin Peaks at the other place I was on signing day. It was freaking packed. It was a big deal. If me and Prater went out yesterday and tried to do a big signing day spectacular, probably have 12 people show up. People already know the class, and they didn't at that point. But college football is just spoon feeds you constantly all the info you want. I think maybe it lessened it a little bit. But yeah, those signing day things were a really big deal. That was draft day in the college football world.
Johnny, I haven't told you about this, but we do have a special guest that's going to make a surprise appearance here in 9 minutes. We'll find out who it is in 9 minutes. You guys can get your guesses in the chat. I just got it confirmed moments ago on my phone that we will have a surprise guest.
Or her? Do I know them?
Yeah, you know the person. Yeah. A lot of folks know this person. We're going to help us get ready for the Mountain West Championship game on the Blue tomorrow night. 9 minutes, our surprise guest will pop on here, and you can get some guesses in now as to who you think that will be. I want to get back to football here in a second as well, Johnny. But first, you're watching a free show here on YouTube, courtesy of our great sponsors, and that includes our title sponsor, Andy Rowe, rowpaint.com. 20% off all your interior painting projects. keep the painting crews busy this year, folks. If you have that project you've been thinking about, now's the perfect time. Make sure you reach out to our friends at rowpaint.com. Let the professionals handle it for you. 20% off at rowpaint.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union. We appreciate them for their support. And again, they're on board now as a sponsor with Boise State. You see they've got 7 NIL deals. So great to see that ICCU logo back in and around Albertson Stadium and Extra Mile Arena. Return the favor, folks. Make the switch. ICCU today at ICCU.com. Johnny was a couple minutes late getting on. He said it was technical problems. We all know he was finishing that breakfast quesadilla at Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group. We appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. You can check out TacoBellWorks.com for more information on their great charitable efforts and their long-standing company. It's been around for decades, and whether it's the crispy chicken strips, the Baja Freeze, slushies, all the great options they have there, and of course, the breakfast quesadillas, hit up our friends at Taco Bell. We appreciate Jackson's as well. Jackson's, where you can get that 49-cent fountain drink on a Monday following a game when Latrell Caples can get in the end zone. So one final game on the blue for Latrell Caples. We'll see if he can get in the end zone on Saturday or Friday night. And if he can, you get a 49-cent fountain drink from Jackson's. And don't forget, 99-cent coffee anytime, day or night, using that Let's Go Rewards app. Hey, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News as well. If you want that Latrell Caples jersey, that Max Cutforth jersey, heck, Johnny, they might even make a Cash Herrera jersey right now. I don't know. You can go to the Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Stop by the Allen Noble Hall of Fame location, the Blue and Orange Store, again, online at theblueandorangestore.com. Also want to thank Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, thespateam.com. They're part of the Boise State home team. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, been around since 1978. Part of that Boise State home team, as I said. So if you're looking for a sauna, a spa for the back patio, maybe a pool table, they got you covered. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game online at thespateam.com. All right, 24 comments are coming in on the guests here. I'm trying to decide if I should go through some of the options now or wait until 9 o'clock when our guest comes on. I think I'm going to wait and let our guest be a part of some of the guesses here because there are some good ones. But again, 6 minutes or so, special guest coming on. We all love him here on BNN, coming on to talk for a few minutes and get us hyped up for the championship game tomorrow. Someone that you may or may not have seen on BNN at some point before. Who knows? But Johnny, a lot of people in the chat were saying, hey, let's not get too carried away about bowl game opponents. You got to win first on Friday. And Spencer Danielson talked about that yesterday. What have you learned from championship games, all the ones you've been in? Not to assume anything, not to assume, not to just assume that it's going to happen. It has happened a lot against UNLV, 10 wins in a row since UNLV, 4 wins in a row in the last 2 calendar years against UNLV, 2 championship games in a row against UNLV. They've won, haven't lost since I think our man Sean Goodwin, the way he put it was the Jimmy Carter administration or something.
Is that what he said? Is that what he said? He said Jimmy Carter.
Who was the president after Jimmy Carter?
Ronald Reagan.
Okay, so I think they maybe had just had the vote to put Reagan in. I don't know. It goes back a long way since UNLV has beaten Boise State, and this is the last scheduled meeting for a while. I mean, I hope they can either get in the same conference at some point again, or at least schedule some semi-regular games. But it has been a pretty one-sided rivalry at this point, Johnny, and that always worries you a little bit because at some point the other team is going to come up and get one. Do you sense Bronco Nation's like super confident this is destiny, they're going to win on the blue, or do you get the sense that no, this is going to be a really tough game and not going to be the 25-point win they had last time they played?
That's what I love about this matchup. I don't know yet, man. Like, I don't know how this thing's going to go. I know Boise State's a much different deal on the blue than off. So I throw that in first and foremost. So they're going all blue on blue on blue.
Yeah, I would assume yes.
Are they getting cute? I would just go all blue on the blue, play the percentages on this one. And I really don't. I don't know how this thing's going to go. I know last time they played, Dylan Riley ran for 200 yards, and that weak-ass defense couldn't stop him. But all I've heard this week, and this is from, Vegas folks, that the defense isn't that defense anymore. It's way better. It's a different deal now. And you're not going to just drop 50. You're not going to drop a 50 burger on us, like that type of thing. So if the UNLV defense does play a little bit better, The only real number Boise State's offense is horrendous in this year's in the red zone. So maybe UNLV gets lucky on red zone trips where Boise State is ending up with field goals. I don't trust the field goal unit entirely. I don't completely distrust it either. But, I mean, if maybe they can get a couple of things, UNLV is going to have, I think, some things bounce their way. And Anthony Calandri is going to come and be the best player on the field in the game. I mean, I look at Calandri as I have a weird comp for him. I look at him as a poor man's John Mateer. He operates the same way kind of Mateer does, where he can beat you on foot and in the ground and in the air, and he's just kind of like a dog tough. And this kid's good, and he's got another year. I wonder what the heck they're gonna do. Is Anthony Calandri really gonna play in the Mountain West next year? I just can't see it, man. But so this, I don't know what they're gonna do. Not here nor there, BJ. But if he has the best game there, yeah, then maybe it'll be close. I think Boise State's going to win. I was really impressed with what I was able to see this week with Maddox Madsen in practice. He looks almost 100%, especially the way he was throwing. I think that injury, whatever they were, impacted his ability to get zip on the ball, because you use your whole body when you throw, and your feet and your toes even. And what I saw this week, it was like that old zip back where he clearly had like the best throwing ability of all the quarterbacks. Maybe not the strongest arm, but his balls were just better. He was on point. He's the best quarterback out there, and there's no other real debate. Now, there was a debate when he wasn't, when he's limping around and he doesn't have zip on his ball, and it's like cut force your best option now. But from what I saw, it's about Maddox Madsen. Usually every time I say he's going to play great, he doesn't, but I'm expecting him to play well tomorrow night and Boise State to win.
Hey, because of our special guest, Johnny, I got to sneak in our second commercial break real quick. I know it's short, but we got a big special guest coming on in a minute. And I do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com, and you can view the full inventory of vehicles online. Prater and I will be there tomorrow morning. Bring a new, unused, unwrapped toy tomorrow at 9 a.m. Join us, stop by, say hello, and we'll put you in a little raffle there to win some prizes, some gift cards. Lithia Ford of Boise. Game day started off with us tomorrow, 9 a.m. Prater and I for Bronco Nation News Live. Hey, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Appreciate Matt. We bought and sold our home using him. Tremendous stuff. Check him out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Transportation compliance service. If you want to get into the trucking industry, they can help you out every step of the way online. The paperwork, the DOT, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out at transcomservice.com. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets. Shop Ridley's.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley, the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Ridley's Family Markets online at shopridleys.com. And Signature Roofing was texting with their upper management this morning. Love Joel and Watson, the whole crew over there. Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered at Signature Roofing. Again, mysignatureroofing.com. And they sponsor our voice inbox. If you want to leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on an upcoming show. Want to get some pregame voicemails, some postgame voicemails, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. And Johnny, I do want to throw in a quick plug. We are still offering 50% off. If you missed the 75% off Black Friday sale, you want to go back and watch the signing day show from last night, some of our other coverage, we do have a 50% offer right now, the annual price. Check out BroncoNationNews.com. And again, we're churning out tons of content, getting ready for the championship game. But 50% off for the I guess I don't know what the sale's called. I guess just the December sale right now, 50% off, BroncoNationNews.com. So we'll be at Lithia Ford tomorrow. Johnny, you said you'll be at Broadway on the Rocks, or is that today?
Today. Tomorrow I'm at Albertson Stadium. I think, aren't you tomorrow too for your show?
We will be, we're not sure yet. It might be easier logistically just to do it at the James again. But yes, we are allowed to be outside on the Ford Plaza if we'd like to be for this game. But with the possibility of rain and everything else, it might just be easier to get set up over at the James. We're going to have Coach Ridd, Coach Bedell, Winston Venables going to stop by. A lot of folks are going to stop by, and then it's going to be a lot of fun. We're working on a pretty good-sized guest list for the pregame show tomorrow. So if you do have any other final guesses for our special guest, we will get to that in a second here. Johnny, you mentioned Madsen, man. We talked about it on the postgame. You initially said you would have gone with Max. Have you changed your stance at all based on what you've heard, what you've seen, or do you still think they're making the wrong choice here?
No, I think that's the right choice. I stand corrected on that. Maddox is his health. Not a doctor, but I have seen him practice a lot this year, and I can tell when he's limping, when he's kind of limping, when he's barely limping, when he's kind of tiny, slightly limping, and then when he's not limping. You can see that, and he looks good. And there was not a question of who the best quarterback was at any point in my mind when Maddox was healthy out there. He was playing hurt when they were struggling, and he was struggling. And if he struggles again, it's nice to know you do have Cutforth, and I would hope this coaching staff realizes what's at stake. And if they're behind, if this is like, I'll give Andy credit on this. He realized he had to pull Hank in Corvallis, okay? He freaking had to. And I hope Spencer realizes that if it comes to it. It's like that pitcher you have in baseball. Some managers, they know when the dude just doesn't freaking have it. There were times Chris Carpenter should have been pulled in the second inning, and LaRusso's got to think, God, I know it's embarrassing. Do I really want to do this to him? But this is a big game. No, he doesn't have it today. He's out. So hopefully that is the case. If it's not, then Madison will play fine. I mean, Madison threw 4 touchdowns, 300 yards last time against this defense. Pretty good job.
Yep. Hey, all right, Johnny, don't say anything or give it away, but our special guest is ready to go here. And we did kind of have some fun with this for our guests. We took guesses on who the surprise guest was going to be this morning because I didn't get confirmation until recently that this guest was coming on. So just a quick look here. Someone's guessing Kellen Moore. We've got Ahmed Hassanin, Robert Griffin III. Andy Rowe was a guest. Was a guest here. The UNLV coach. No, not Dan Mullen. Coach Pete. No, not Coach Pete. Marlene Trump coming back to join us. No, not Marlene Trump as well. Jason Kelly from UNLV. No. I really did try to get Andy Avalos, but no, he's not the special guest either. And a couple of you guessed that is Andy coming back on. Ahmed with another guest here. Let's see what else. Chris Peterson got a couple guesses here. Leighton Vander Esch. No. Blitz. I would have liked to have Blitz as be the special guest, but couldn't pull that off today as well. Johnny, without further ado, our special guest, you know him, you love him, the athletic director at Boise State, Jeremiah Dickey, popping on the show here. How we doing, JD?
Hey. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you perfect, man.
Hey, all those guests you just mentioned, I would have rather heard them. So, well done, Bronco Nation.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had Andy back on. That would have been great. We see the ticket sales continue, Jeremiah, towards a sellout. Hopefully, I think somebody in the chat said they counted this morning and they counted like 1,500. I don't know if you have any kind of update, but how are ticket sales going and the push towards what would be, I think, a 15th straight sellout tomorrow?
Yeah, 15 straight, and that's important to us, BJ. We're bar raisers, and it's not just about this game per se, but it ties into it. It's the standard. It's our foundation. Bronco Nation is important to us, and it very much impacts the game, and it's a competitive advantage for us. And when you look at the past, and we're bar raisers, and so it's not a personal goal from breaking records, but we are Broncos, and records are meant to be broken, and we know what the record is. I believe it's 19 straight games, and this would give us 15. Students stepped up, and I know that Bronco Nation has given them a hard time in the past, and yes, there's still work to be done in terms of getting them to stay throughout the game, and I know that can be challenging depending on how the game's going and the weather and whatnot, but I'm really proud of them. I mean, I think that's 15 or 14 straight. Is that right? 14 straight for our students. And that's awesome. The most recent update I had, we were 77% sold out, and so there's still some work to do. But I believe, this is who we are, and it is 7 games, 7 sellouts now. And I can't thank Bronco Nation enough for stepping up. And there's some challenges, BJ, like when you think about a lot of our season ticket holders, especially company accounts, they may have, 8 or 10 tickets in their account, but they only need some for their family for this game because it is a quick turnaround, and we are in the holiday season. And so I don't, I don't like people are stepping up and I know a lot of people had stuff planned already, and it's hard to plan for a game you may or may not have. But I believe in the Treasure Valley. I believe in our state and in the people that are going to come to this game, and they're going to have an impact. I think the last time we played UNLV, I don't know, and our staff is probably going to put it out, but we had a number of false starts. That's important, and that impacts the game and impacts field position and helps our defense and so on and so forth. And so what I ask of Bronco Nation is to show up, be early, be loud, and stay late. Championships matter here. You come to Boise State, and someone gave me a hard time. Like, you come to get an education. Of course you do. That is a priority for us. That is a part of our why. I hear you. But you come to Boise State to compete for championships. Student athletes can go to any school and get an education. You come here to compete for championships. And that's who we are. And that's something we're really proud of. And this is our last year. This is our last game in officially and from football standpoint in the Mountain West. And, and this is important to us. And UNLV has done really well over the last few years. And they've had a great season, and they're going to come in fired up, and we need Bronco Nation. So I'm grateful for those who have committed, and tell your friends, family, get more tickets. We need to sell this game out.
Tyree's asking about ponchos, if they're for sale at the stadium. Obviously, that is one factor tomorrow as well. Just check the old iPhone weather app here, and it does look like there could be some continued precipitation tomorrow night. Unfortunately, that's been a theme, mostly for your road games this year. But the diehards are used to watching a Boise State game in the rain this year. It's happened a couple of times. But what do you make of the weather? And I guess preparing for that. I know you don't allow umbrellas, I don't believe, but ponchos, I guess bring your own, but will you have any available? Do you know? Or
yeah, we live in Idaho. Last year was maybe the coldest game I've ever been at, and I threw my back out because of it, because of the stress, and couldn't walk for a week. I would say come prepared, but yes, Blue and Orange Store, they're killing it. Travis and David, and they're going to be prepared, and but yeah, like right now it's saying that there's, whether it's rain or snow or both, be prepared. And it's, we're asking for one more time on the Blue, and for our seniors, for Blitz, who came out of retirement, for pride. And I'm proud to be a Bronco, and I know Bronco Nation is too. And I'm excited to see them there, and be prepared. It's
Ahmed cool. Raising Blue Chaos, JD, you get Ahmed back.
Yeah, I mean, I love him to death. I got to see him at the Notre Dame game, and we'll text every once in a while. And I mean, just a phenomenal man. Like, yes, a great football player and whatever, but he's just a great guy. And I absolutely love him. Once a Bronco, always a Bronco. And he'll forever be part of my story and my, this chapter of life. And I'm really excited to see him and his wife. I'm assuming she'll be here with him in person. They're Broncos through and through. He very much loves and cares about this place and is part of that brotherhood. And I'm excited to see him, raise that flag. And I think Bronco Nation will as well.
This guy says, I was up in section 128 versus New Mexico in 2014. It was 9 degrees and windy, and I was 12. So this is going to be nothing tomorrow night. So
that's right. Man or mouse. Like this is that's part of it. Some of my greatest memories as a kid was going to, the Sun Bowl at that time, or I guess still called the Sun Bowl. I don't know what their sponsors right now, but the Sun Bowl in El Paso, and my dad and I under a blanket, and it's things you don't forget. Those are memories, and I'm excited to see Bronco Nation. They're going to come strong, and it's going to be awesome.
Bronco 130 says, just leave a big box of garbage bags near the student entrance so the students have some rain protection there.
That works. But good. I mean, or go to the dollar store and buy a poncho for $1. I mean, it's not JD's responsibility to keep freaking people in the stadium dry. Like, personal responsibility on this. Like, if it's going to be wet, I know, go grab something.
And with that being said, Johnny, like we are prepared. Like the Blue and Orange Store, like I said, is going to be prepared. And, it's, so I get it. Like we're going to try to provide the best possible experience. And, I'm excited. Like I don't feel like we've had a lot of night games, and, the time we're going to play in that third and fourth quarter break, and, the ability to use lights and whatever else. And, obviously it's a Mountain West game, but it's going to be exciting, the experience that our marketing and facilities team will put on. And, we're going to be prepared, and I fully expect a packed house, 7 games, 7 sellouts.
I don't think you've had one game this year where when it was time for 7 Nation Army to hit and for the team to come out where it was dark already. And so I don't think you've had the full entrance that you guys have had in previous years yet. So that could be electric as well. And what do you just expect from the atmosphere? We were talking about it earlier, JD. Like last year, it all just lined up. Ashton Genty's last game, big noon kickoff. The winner goes to the playoff. There was just so much on the line, and obviously it ended with the goalpost coming down and everything else. I don't know if court storming's the right or field storming's right, because I think you guys in years past too, after the championships or last game, have let fans come down onto the blue anyway. So, I mean, that might happen again. I wouldn't think that we'd be worried about the goalpost again for a game like this, but I don't know if that's some now championship tradition or what. But just what do you make of what do you expect of the atmosphere? As you said, a lot still on the line, a chance at 9 wins, 3 straight championships on the way out the door here, but maybe not quite as electric as last year. What do you how are you just feeling about what it's going to feel like tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, BJ, last year and Johnny, excuse me, last year was emotional for different reasons. The fact that it was the first time that a group of 6 team had an opportunity. I know I say we're Power 5, but it was the first time that we actually were allowed to have a seat at the table, and however ridiculous that is, and it still pisses me off, but we have that one seat that we all fight for, and having a guy like Ashton and that collective team and those seniors and what they'd gone through, and it was just an unbelievable memory and experience for everyone. But this is Broncos are used to this. You come here to compete for championships. I think this is 8 out of 9 years, in a row, and the most in the Mountain West, and an opportunity to win 3. I'm not sure anyone's won 3 in this version of the Mountain West. I can't speak for before with BYU and whoever else, but TCU and Utah. But what a cool opportunity that we have to go out with a win on the blue, to win 3 in a row, and coming off of an unbelievable recruiting class yesterday, and just so proud of Spencer and Brandon and Kyle and the collective team. And how much they grinded. We want to finish strong, and obviously 28 straight years of bowl, and for some maybe winning gets boring. It doesn't get boring for me. Winning's hard, and I'm never going to take that for granted. And and it takes a team, and our staff's going to be ready, and I expect the atmosphere to whoever's in that stadium, that they're going to be loud, and they're going to impact this game one way or another, and that really excites me. That's what you look for. I mean, that's quite honestly, BJ, knowing what I did at Bronco Nation before I had arrived here, and that's what makes it so special. We represent something bigger than ourselves, and Bronco Nation is right there in that foxhole with us, and it fires me up. There are a lot of other schools in this country that would build a statue for someone who won 6 games, but we're not that. That is the standard. That is the foundation we're building off of, and to have an opportunity to win 3 championships in a row, and to go to, whoever wins goes to the LA Bowl. And that's exciting to have that level of standard, because not many schools can say that.
I wanted to throw one thing in here, JD. You talked about the false starts at Albertson Stadium, and in the game notes that your should be award-winning sports information department put out every single week. They detail this, and just so fans have an idea of how much it does help, just since 2018, there have been 128 false starts on the opponents at Albertson Stadium. 128. Number 2 in America has 98. Okay, that is a wide margin, 128 to 98. That's how much better Albertson Stadium is at getting opponents to jump off sides than every other team in America. When JD, I know you say it's not just lip service, like everything matters. We need you there. Bronco Nation, you help us. Like, it's right here. I've never seen a team or a program or a stadium have that type of false start frequency. Nobody in the NFL has that either, JD. It's crazy.
No, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Bronco Nation is elite, and and it very much helps us. And you look at our home, winning percentage, and and all the stats that Coots and Alex and Dietrich and our collective team put out there, and they are elite, Johnny. I appreciate you giving them a shout out because they are. I firmly believe our department is the best in the country, and I'm very grateful for that. But it does matter, and it does impact the game, and it impacts recruiting. And you've heard me say this all year, and part of it is me not in a like trying to put people on blast or whatever. Like, I care about this place. Like, I love being a Bronco, and I want I want it to be a point of pride. We don't have fair weather fans. We don't have t-shirt fans. Like, you are Broncos, and you're in this foxhole with us, and you have an impact, and it creates a competitive advantage for us. And it takes a team, and you hit it right on the head, Johnny. Everything counts. Everything matters. And that is important because we are Broncos, and we represent something bigger than ourselves.
Someone noticed I was going to bring this up, that you're rocking the polo, the hoodie, and the suit coat. He's got the, Andrew Whitworth Thursday Night Football kind of look going there, Johnny.
Yeah. JD does. He's got the quarter zip. Is that double quarter zip? No, that's the collared shirt.
No, it's the one I normally wear. Okay. I was cold. I had a Bible study this morning. It was cold. I didn't. My other coat was at the office, and so I just threw this one on. And I'm not known for my fashion, fellas. Face for the radio. I was cold. Okay, I was prepared, and this coat is coming off as soon as I get off this. I probably should have done it so you guys wouldn't giving me crap.
Well, we appreciate it, JD. We're always the ones asking questions. I didn't know if you just happen to have any questions yourself for either Johnny or I as we kind of wrap this up.
Well, God, you put me on the spot. You never let me ask questions, BJ. I would ask you guys what's your favorite memory of the Mountain West. I mean, we've been in this league and have had a lot of success, and maybe not just football, but across the board. And I'm very grateful for Gloria and her team, and they're sitting behind me in this conference room, preparing for this game, and they've been awesome, and understanding it's been uncomfortable, through a transition, but I really appreciate everything they've done. And so what's your favorite moment in memory?
Well, first of all, you can't say anything else nice about Coots because he was supposed to feed you a question to ask before this interview. So,
well, I had a phone call. Like, Coots does his best to try. I'm like herding a blind cat, DJ. So Allie and him they're on me, and I was on a phone call before. That's why I was a few minutes late. But
he actually had a suggested question, and I said yes. Tell him to ask it, and he didn't. So we love Johnny. We'll
let me check my email, BJ.
No, it's okay.
So
no. We're good. We're good. We appreciate you coming on. I'll tell you off air what the question was supposed to be, but. Spencer always likes talking to Johnny at the start of the press conference. So you were going to, Johnny's over there shaking his head, but.
Was that it? Me? You guys get off it. No, you're not teaming up on Johnny here. BJ, I'm a guest for you on this show. We brought JD.
Hey, Johnny, we can ask you whatever we want, man.
Who Johnny is dating right now. No. Why is this a thing?
I don't even know that's where we're going, man. I wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you, JD.
I think I said something on X, Twitter, whatever, last year. And then I felt bad. I apologize to you. So I'm not giving you a hard time, Johnny.
I appreciate that.
Maybe the question was, do you need tickets or something, Johnny? How do you know what we were going to ask you? I don't. Final thing for you, JD. Just someone's asking about the storm in the field, by the way. They said you guys shouldn't allow it. It should be reserved for special opportunities. I know you got to plan ahead for all these celebrations, whatever, but what are you expecting tomorrow in terms of just, like I mentioned, the atmosphere, and hopefully it's a sellout and it's going to be a great night. And I guess it's a large convoluted question, but you guys are in this situation. You weren't sure a couple weeks you would be. I know Spencer said you can't take anything for granted, obviously, and you got to enjoy this, one last time. But just final question, I guess, overall, what just your excitement level for tomorrow and what this could be like, and obviously it could be another special night on the blue here for Bronco Nation.
Yeah, every night we play, every day we play on the blue, BJ, and I think everyone gets this. It's special. We get 6 guaranteed opportunities, and this year it's not necessarily free football, but you get a 7th. And the blue is, what an amazing thing Gene did. And I just saw some posts like we have the best, or top 3, group of 6 stadium in the country. there's pride in it for me. I'm very grateful to be a leader here and a leader within this community, representing something bigger than myself. And the blue has power, and our job is to protect it. And when I say our job, it takes a team, and it's everyone being a part of the process and not just the outcome. And in terms of my team and planning, for field stormings and whatever else, like we always have a plan. We had a plan last year, but there's moments where you want to create those memories. And I know there were people that didn't think we should or whatever, and people were upset that the goalposts were torn down. That's something that this community will never forget. And that's important. And that has more value than however much it costs us to replace those field goal posts. With that being said, and fortunately last year, you plan the work the plan. We were already replacing them, so I wasn't worried about it. Now we've replaced them. But I also understand what our standard is. I know there's been peaks and valleys this season. I know that it's been challenging in many ways, but this is one of those seasons. The phone call I had before, I was just telling this person, these are the seasons I remember when there's adversity, when there is pain, when there's uncomfortableness, and you find a way. Like, that's life. And that's what we're teaching these kids. That's when I say we're preparing these kids for life, that's what it means. We represent something bigger than ourselves, and good, bad, or indifferent, we're going to show up. We're never going to quit. And there's always going to be an opportunity. And that makes me so much proud. Like, last year was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I'm so proud of our guys, and I'm proud of Bronco Nation. And we sold out games this year, and student section, and win or lose, that is the standard. And obviously we have a job to do, and Spencer's been very honest in terms of what this season has been. But I look at that Utah State game and the joy in that locker room after, and they didn't break, and they found a way. And you learn a lot through pain. Most of the things I've learned in my life is through pain and failure. And that's what a Bronco is. And so I fully expect Bronco Nation to be there, sell it out, to be loud, and to create an unbelievable atmosphere and experience. But I also know that our standard is that we go to championships and that we compete for championships. And I'm 1-0 mentality. UNLV is a great team. They're going to show up. They're going to want to play and win the championship. And I'm sure there's a little extra emotion because of this Mountain West Pac-12 stuff. And that's fine, but I fully expect us, to come in and put our best foot forward. And I expect Bronco Nation to, we've been there, we've done that. And that's not in an arrogant way. That is very humble. Like, I'm very humbled in saying that, because, that is the standard. That is why I want to be a Bronco. And that's why a lot of people are a part of this. So I don't think there will be a field rushing and tearing down a goalpost and whatever else. Last year was special for different reasons. But winning is hard, and winning is special in its own right. But we fully expect that because we're Broncos.
Well, I'm over here at Extra Mile Arena. We're getting ready to talk to Leon as they get set to head out to Butler. That's a big game on Saturday. I know you got a lot to do, so we'll let you go. But there was a couple people saying that they want me to answer your question here. So I'll just say quickly, the ones that immediately stand out was 2014 Mountain West Championship was similar to last year. If you win, you're going to the Fiesta Bowl. And I remember that Tostitos was no longer even a sponsor. It was like Vizio TV, and yet you had guys holding – bags of chips and sombreros up on the stage. They were going to the Fiesta Bowl. I would say 2015, when Coach Pete came back with Washington, the anticipation for that game and Coach Pete walking out of the tunnel for the first time for warmups and what that moment was like when he came back in 2015 was huge. But last year, and maybe even the moment, would be Ashton Genty taking that 80-yard touchdown or whatever it was right before halftime, going up 21-0 in the championship game. How loud that was. That might have been the loudest I've heard this stadium in my 13 years here covering the team. I mean, I could probably make a whole list of them, but those are the immediate ones. And I know it's prisoner of the moment, but last year probably will never be topped for a lot of people with what was on the line for that one. And like I said, maybe not quite as much on the line, but you guys still have a ton to play for tomorrow, and a chance to finish with 10 wins here and win a bowl game and have win 3 straight championships on the way out the door. So hopefully the weather holds off. Hopefully you guys can sell this thing out tomorrow, JD, and looking forward to what should be another fun day. I know the ticket office is open. Broncosports.com. There's a lot of different ways folks can get those tickets and help you guys sell this place out.
Thank you, BJ, for saying that. And absolutely, there's ample opportunity, and I do believe 7 games, 7 sellouts. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for covering basketball, BJ. And it was good to hang out in Maui for a few days. And Johnny, always good seeing you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Broncos! Love you, Bronco Nation.
Appreciate it, JD. There he is, Jeremiah Dickey, athletic director at Boise State. Johnny, appreciate you for making this work on a earlier time here and going a little long, but a lot going on. Tomorrow should be fun. But again, 3 to 6 today, you'll be at Broadway on the Rocks there, and hopefully folks will stop by.
Yeah, if you guys are in that neighborhood, whether you're going to go grocery shopping or want to watch some football or whatever, come see us, man. Broadway on the Rocks.
That'll be 3 to 6 today. And then Prater and I tomorrow will be at Lithia 4 to Boise at 9 a.m. You can bring a new, unused, unwrapped toy as part of the KTIK Lithia 4 to Boise BNN toy drive. And we'll have some cool giveaways tomorrow as well. So appreciate you guys. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. All of our recruiting coverage is up there. We'll get Leon Rice interview up there shortly as well. And our game preview, Nathan Carroll's got a couple football stories in the hopper that will get posted here later this morning as well. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Go subscribe to BroncoNationNews.com. Go join the guys at 3 o'clock at Broadway on the Rocks. 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be at Lithia. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.